While living in the dystopian world, there are less things could allow us to breathe underneath the non-stopping pressure. Sometimes I feel extremely lost and hard to embrace the cruel reality. In order to find myself a place to escape from the reality world, I will dive into writing and create my own narrative. This time, I have created my own version of the Garden of Eden, a dystopian Forbidden Garden of Eden. In the Forbidden Eden, every creature was given the forbidden fruit, which gives them the wisdom, emotion, stress, and the ability to love. For this project, I wrote a story about a mysterious world underwater. What are the things lying under the water? Thousands of species live underneath the ocean that uses their breathing system to live, swim, and build their houses in the water. The mouth whale is one of the oldest living jellyfish in the planet. The creature contains Tim Burton-ish whimsical shape and gradient effect that some of them can even glow in the dark. I was also inspired by the thistle texture of these creatures, which allows us to see the inner structure of them. I want to try to find a way to bring out the inner beauty of these creatures, how to present their color, organism, the way they breathe, and even the way they glow. After researching different ways of presenting my idea, I found out that soft robotic could be the technique I could use for this project. Soft robotic allows me to achieve the idea of breathing, softness, weird color, and tentacles for the jellyfish. As a result, I have also researched on different examples of soft robotics. If you click on the center image, you'll be taken to the website I have used called Soft Robotic Toolkit. For the artist references, I did not only use artists that made soft robotic, but also artists who had made artwork through motor control, silicone, and glass art. The MIT Media Lab, which is the second one on the second row, have created a couple of inspiring projects, including a 3D printed wearable sculpture that contains fluid channel inside. The channel will absorb sunlight and transfer it into useful product to the wearer. The wearer would ideally to trigger the microbeads to produce a particular substance, for example, a scent, a color, or a foil. I was also very drawn to the colorful specimen created by Irori Tomita. The artists have used a specimen preservation technique with a color staining method that allows the specimens to not only preserve its weird color in the daylight, but also can be luminous in the darkness. For the storyline, I have created a story about a shy jellyfish. In this dystopian, the stressful world, people would hide their inner feeling without expressing them out. They would not say anything although they are sad or desperate. They use silence to protect themselves from this crazy world. Here is a collage of the drawings I have created to visualize the Garden of Eden. I have also touched a couple more sketches and drawings in the next couple pages. Due to the very limited resources I could use during this period of time, May have suggested me to use the motor she provided from the toolkit into a mini air pump that I can actually utilize for this project. The air pump failed to work for the first time because of the wire I used was too soft, so May suggested me to change into a harder wire. This time the air pump worked, but it was moving really slow, so May suggested me to change into a faster motor. After changing into the new motor, the air pump worked pretty well. And from the molding part of the soft robotic, I have figured out that using laser cut and layer them up can be a very easy and useful way to do. As For the silicone choice, I have mainly used EcoFlex 35 for this project. In order to finish the soft robotic, you also need to have a 1 mm thin layer on top of the molded layer in order to create the finished piece. There were also a huge number of failed samples while I was making the molds. Sometimes the ratio I mixed wrong, sometimes the time I waited was not long enough, and sometimes while I was pushing the tube in, it breaks out the silicone so the air won't go through properly. After I have successfully learned the basic method of doing the soft robotic, I have purchased a couple of glow-in-the-dark powder and mixed them while I was pouring the silicone. Since I did not have the opportunity to use laser cut again, I have just stick with whatever mold I had and made a couple of variations through color and beads. I have purchased a couple of plastic push to connect all the tubes together into one air source. Okay, now are you ready? Come to see the final work of the Garden of Eden with me.